Do you want to learn all about health and wellness in your body, mind, and spirit, and your cleaning products? Would you also like some tips on how to maintain your balance with food and drink and wellness throughout the holidays? Stay tuned because today's guest is going to teach us all about all of that and include a little animal love. Remember to subscribe for free information to help you create a happy and healthy life. Jill Anenberg Lawrence has always had a love affair with fitness and wellness. Raised by very health-conscious parents and growing up in supplement stores, nutrition is second nature for her. Jill studied over 100 dietary theories, practical lifestyle management techniques, and innovative coaching methods with the world's top health and wellness experts. She is also an ACE certified personal trainer and an expert in environmental toxins. She writes humorous wellness blogs for her own site and expert guest blogs for others. With a previous career in stand-up comedy and entertainment, Jill brings humor and lightness to wellness and uses kindness and warmth to take care of her audience and connect with every person in the room. If you like bloopers, then you'll love the videos she creates for her YouTube channel, including fitness moves, recipes, lifestyle, and of course, her rescue pups and kitties have cameos. In her free time, Jill rescues dogs, fosters, and advocates for animals because that's what feeds her soul. Jill, thank you so much for being here today. Oh, I love you so much.
I love you too.
Okay, so tell me, how did you first get into health and wellness?
Okay, so I literally was like born into it. Mm-hmm. My mom is super healthy. She had a really healthy pregnancy, healthy vagina to come out of. Like, my dad was very healthy. So my whole family, we're just born into like the mindset of, you work out, you eat healthy. Don't get me wrong, my mom has the biggest sweet tooth, which makes me have the biggest sweet tooth. Sorry, Mom, I'm just gonna throw her under the bus. Like, with her, everything was sweets. Like, oh, we're celebrating. Oh, you're sad. Oh, fuck that guy. You know, it was like everything came with sweets. Mm-hmm. So that's still like my emotional coping mechanism. Like, I'm sober, so I don't drink or do anything to cover up emotionally. So the only thing I have is the delicious sweet foods.
I can relate to that. And you know, that's one of the reasons that I love you so much, because you are the way you are, but you still enjoy your treats. And we're going to get into the swaps in a bit. I want you to talk about that.
Swaps. But like, my sister and I grew up dancing. Like, at 3-4 years old, we started dancing. My dad always had a room in the house that had weights and a treadmill and a bike. So we always worked out. And it just was like instilled in us, part of our lifestyle.
That's great.
It was great. And I'm so appreciative now that that's how I grew up.
And it's so amazing that you just kind of went into that as a profession too. But I remember the first time I met you, I was like, oh my God, I love her arms.
I do too. They are my favorite body part. I feel like I always joke, like I'm not like a boob person. I never wear low cut stuff because I don't want people to look here. I want them to look at what I've worked hard for. Yes. And these, it's like you just were born with them or you buy them.
So Jill, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I'm a holistic health coach, and I like to joke with people that it's a blend of a nutritionist, a life coach, and a therapist. If they had a threesome and a wild night, I would be the baby that they make, because I do a blend of all of it.
I love that.
Believe me, I'm not a therapist, but I've been to a lot of therapy, so I feel like I've garnered all of those skills. Sorry if you're a therapist and that's offensive, but I give really good advice. As a life coach, there's so many lifestyle habits that come with like why we eat or why we have these habits, or, you know, the whys underneath. Mm-hmm. And then as a nutritionist, of course, you know, that's like the whole nutrition component, but there's like this big layer of what makes holistic health coaching what it is. And I think that's really important, because it's not just what we eat. There's so many other layers to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I like to always say that it's not that you're buying my friendship, but a lot of people need a friend. And that's what I become, is someone that they can talk to. Like this morning I needed to just vent, and I called my sister and I had her to be able to like listen, and I didn't even need her to tell me advice. I just needed someone to like be a sounding board. Mm-hmm. And that's often what I am for clients. Yeah. And an accountability partner, and just someone that's like, hey, this is what you're doing. Let me just put a mirror to this so you can see it, and bringing awareness. A lot of times we just don't have awareness around the choices that we make. Yeah. And then once you start to realize like, oh, I'm doing this because of this, or oh, I'm just acting in this way because fill in the blank for yourself. I think that's like the beginning of where we start, because I want that before and after to be internally. Yes. And that you feel the change from like the internal decisions that you make, the mindset, the heart, the soul. I was going to say, not to sound all spiritual, but it is fucking spiritual. Like, there's a lot of things to this that have nothing to do with what you're eating, and have so much more. Like, you can eat all the kale and broccoli and smoothies, but if you are not happy in your relationship, you hate your job, like you're so stressed out, like that type of food isn't going to make a difference in your overall health and wellness. And I've experienced that myself too.
Yeah, and I think that's great that you take a lot of your own personal experience and bring it so you can help other people who are going through the same thing or have been through something similar.
Yeah, and I think that's important that people don't see like the person that I'm going to say like they're following. Like I have a lot of mentors or people on social or, you know, just books that I've read and that you idolize and you think that they're perfect and nobody is. Like we are all just human beings. We all have to go to the gynecologist or proctologist. Like we all have fingers up in us to make sure that we're healthy. I don't know why I gave that as an example. But we're all human beings and no one's perfect. And there's like shifts in life and things that happen. And sometimes you're on top of the world and you feel great. And then other times there could be an incident or nothing at all that just, you're like, I don't know, I just feel like I lost my mojo for a little bit.
Yeah, and that affects exercise too. If you don't feel like getting up and moving, you're not motivated or to make any positive changes. So, but I love that you said you're a friend. And you know what? You are a therapist because manicurists are therapists, hairstylists are therapists, massage therapists. I've done nails, I've done massage, and I used to do this stuff in my cubicle at work. People used to sit and talk to me about all their stuff. So some people are just natural therapists.
And you're a very good listener too, and you're so sensitive.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you and I
know.
just like that when we met. So tell us about all the services that you provide for your clients.
So first and foremost, I do one-on-one coaching. I do it either through Skype, FaceTime, or just a call if you don't want to look at me. But well, some people don't want to be on the phone.
I wouldn't want to look at that.
Let's look at each other. Professional from here up, PJ's down. But I like to look at people because then you can read social cues or faces or just, it's better connection. But that way I can work with people from anywhere. It doesn't have to be like just here in LA. I can work with anyone. So one-on-one, I do a 3-month program. I call it my transformation program. I do just one-off sessions. I label it Ask Me Anything, almost anything. Well, sure, ask me anything. I'll tell you if you want to know. I do pantry clean out where it's pantry, fridge, you know, everything in your house, under your sink, all the toxic products, get them out of there. I go shopping with people. I do presentations in offices, which is really fun. That's actually one of my favorite things to do because I love being in front of a group. And then aside from like what we're talking about, answering questions on the spot and kind of doing like on the spot coaching.
Yeah. And you have a history in stand-up and being on stage. So that, as you can tell, you're so confident, you're so charismatic.
Thank you. It's fun. And I think the hardest part for me, though, is like my comedy used to be very dirty. Like I just have a dirty sense of humor. Older brother, lots of guy friends. It's just like in me. Keeping it corporate and professional and not cussing at all, which I've done it.
I saw you slip in one of your presentations recently.
Thank God it was shit, not like it. Yeah, it could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
You're human. It's okay.
Thanks.
It's okay. So what's one of your favorite client stories? Is there an experience that just blew you away?
I think that every person I work with, it blows me away because there's always like a big shift that happens. And a lot of times it's just in their mindset. I had a client, we'll call her Rosie. That's my foster dog right now. We'll call her Rosie. She had a job that she hated, and a job has nothing to do with what are you eating and the weight loss. But it was making her miserable. She had a long commute. And I was like, well, what if just to start, you changed into pajama pants and like cozy socks for your long drive home instead of like your tight work pants and heels. So then you're already like starting to decompress, listening to something that's either motivational or funny that you can, again, like change your mindset for the drive home. Have tea on the way home. You know, it's like we switched all of these things that she could do just on the way home.
Yeah.
And then we also looked into how can we change the location of her job because there was another office that was close to her house.
Oh.
She would have never done it if it weren't for me. No, but I was like, hey, what about just putting it out there and asking if you can switch locations? And she ended up switching jobs. She was so much happier. She had way more time at home, more time to exercise. So like everything shifted in a positive direction just from making those little changes, which were huge changes in the end.
Yeah. I think that is such an amazing story because those are the kind of things that begin major change.
Yeah, and like for me, I love that because it wasn't about like, oh, she had oatmeal for breakfast and then a shake, and like it had nothing to do with the food, but then those food choices were automatically added in a better way because she was happier, she was feeling better, then she created more time for herself, changed the way she felt, she arrived home nicer to her husband.
I'm sure he appreciates
good things happen from that. Yeah.
That is great. I love that. I love all your suggestions for her.
But I would say that to anyone, and I do it too. Like, I love to drive in flip-flops and then take them off and just drive barefoot. I always bring, like, if it's hot, like hot water and tea, or, you know, bring it with me so then on the way home I can drink that, plan something fun to listen to, whether it's like a podcast, there's a little fly, he's into it.
So Jill, you are incredibly fit and beautiful.
Oh,
so
go on. I'm just kidding.
And lovely and charming and charismatic.
Can you please come and wake me up like that when I feel ugly and irritated to just wake up?
You just watch this.
I know, right?
So what's your best piece of advice to help people stay in shape and for people who don't even like to exercise?
Okay, so figure out why you want to exercise. What's on the other side of that? For me, I like to exercise for the mental health because it just makes me feel good, and then I want to eat better because of it. I have little man syndrome. I'm 5'1", and I like to feel like I'm tough and big. Like I remember taking boxing classes and I'd walk out like, I'm gonna kick some ass. But just it makes me feel stronger. It increases my confidence. Yes, I like to feel like I'm in shape because then all the other extracurricular stuff I do, if I'm in shape and I'm strong mentally, physically, emotionally, I can do them 10 times better. Mm-hmm. So for me, I know what my why is, and then I plug it into my calendar like it's an appointment.
Yeah, okay.
And for the most part, I would say 9 out of 10 times I stick to it. Today I set my alarm 6:15 to go to yoga. I turned it off and I was like, no, this is not happening this morning. I need to sleep more. And I rolled over and I cuddled my dog and like, oh, that was so good.
And sometimes you need the rest
Yes,
more.
and you need to listen to your body when sometimes you need to take a day off.
Mm-hmm.
I did walk them for a mile, all the doggies, but that's just, it's still movement. That's good. But anyways, planning it into your calendar. So figuring out what do you like, not what everyone says like, oh, the new thing is HIIT or, plyometrics. Like, doesn't matter. What do you like?
And even if it's something like cleaning your house,
Yeah.
or dancing around your house, or walking around the mall. I mean, there are people who...
You're still moving.
Yes, doing something that you enjoy that isn't necessarily considered exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a gym or something like that.
Yeah, I stopped going to a gym probably like maybe 6 or 7 years ago because I have doggies and I foster and I like to, be outside with them. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start hiking a lot more. And then I joined the yoga gym, and that's my thing is I either take yoga classes or TRX, and then every now and again I'll go do like spin or something with a girlfriend. But I think if you're not motivated to work out, figuring out why do you want to do it, like what is that benefit, many benefits that it's going to give you, and then putting it into your calendar in a way that actually is accomplishable.
Yeah.
So if you're a new mom and you don't have much time, just say 10 minutes and set your timer for 10 minutes. And then if you're in the groove and you feel better and you do longer, awesome, but at least you're getting in the amount of time that you said.
Let's actually talk about that as far as food for a second, because everybody has to find what works for them, because there's not one eating plan that works for everybody. And a lot of people will be like, oh, this worked for me, it'll work for you too. I've never been like that, like you, because that's part of my stuff too with people, sometimes helping them find what works for them food-wise. But you are the queen of swaps, which I love, because I do that with Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is what works for me. I cannot do any fat-based eating plans. I can't do keto or bulletproof. Or I've done them, and since you can't have any carbs or any sugar or fruit,
I would die with no carbs.
No,
you would not want to be around me. I would not be pleasant.
Thank you. So tell us some of the swaps that you have done, because I was able to sample one of your swaps, the cookies.
Ooh, they're my famous chocolate chip cookies. And I'll tell you, all that's in them is like literally just almond flour, coconut oil, maple syrup. I use red mineral salt, chocolate chips that happen to be vegan, the ones that Trader Joe's sells, and a little vanilla extract. That's it.
Simple.
And they're so good.
They're really good.
But yes, I'm all about swaps because I don't think that life is about deprivation at all. I think that you need to enjoy life, and I don't want to say indulge all the time, but yeah, definitely indulge. Like if you're at an Italian restaurant, like have pasta in the middle and, maybe have a piece of fish and then eat pasta too. Don't ever think that you should not live life and enjoy a part of food, and being in a social situation and like enjoying each other's company is enjoying food. Okay, so with swaps, I'll say this. So I'm half Italian and I love pasta, but unless I'm at an Italian restaurant, at home I do red lentil pasta or they have chickpea pasta, really high in fiber and plant-based protein, so that's great. With chips, Beanfields or Bonitos, they're bean and rice-based chips, and there's nothing artificial in them whatsoever. So again, it's a good serving of protein and fiber and iron from the beans. With baking, I switched all of my oil to coconut oil because you don't taste it in the products, and it's a good source of like great fats for us, and we need fat, instead of like canola oil or all of these other things that you could put in that again can be like rancid by the time they get to your shelf. With sugar, instead of just baking with sugar or even putting sugar on top of like oatmeal or in your coffee, coconut sugar or date syrup, amazing product. There's so many great swaps to use for that. I love raw honey because it's anti everything. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and if you get local raw honey, it helps with allergies.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then you're supporting local farmers. Salt, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to have salt, but table salt or sodium or what's in our processed food is what we don't want. But really good salt, like the sodium that's from red mineral salt or Himalayan sea salt, Celtic sea salt, is all from salt mines where it has like 50, 60 plus trace minerals in it, balances out your electrolytes. That's amazing. I salt everything. I'm a total salt tooth also.
Oh, me too. Me too. And I've got low blood pressure, so everyone's like, me. I'm like, low blood pressure, shut up.
Yeah. Oh, soda. If you guys like soda, the Longevity Warehouse website, it's David Wolf's products. It's called Longevity Soda, and it's sweetened with stevia, and it's made with all these medicinal herbs and mushrooms and incredible ingredients that are amazing for our health. And you just put a few droppers in sparkling water, and it tastes just like Coke, root beer, cherry Coke.
I want that.
Like, it's incredible.
Okay.
So if you love soda, you're drinking diet soda to be good, which is not good.
No diet soda.
Like, this is an amazing swap for soda.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say, like, there is literally a swap for everything, and even into like beauty products and cleaning products. I think that a lot of people aren't aware of how many toxins and chemicals are not just in our environment, but in the products that we use to clean our homes, the air fresheners, the candles, in our makeup, in our hygiene products, even in your toothpaste. Like, there's so many hidden chemicals. And if you were to look at the European Union versus the United States, what's allowed in their products versus ours, it's, I don't ever use this word, but it's despicable. Like, it's very sad that all of the shit is in our products and not over there. So I think that that's a huge piece. Like, I've taken many toxins and chemical courses because I love to be able to swap that stuff out.
So are there any products that you would recommend that are a cleaner version, healthier version of our regular cleaning products?
Well, first I'll say there's a website, the Environmental Working Group, EWG.org. They have everything on there from cleaning products to beauty products to, different hygiene products, what's in your water, the Dirty Dozen versus the Clean 15, which is what fruits and vegetables to buy organic versus non-organic. Everything is on there. It's a great resource. Okay, a few brands that I love. Earth Friendly, Ecos, EcoMe, some stuff by Better Life, and I know that there's a few more, but those are the ones that I have under my sink. There's a new company out, or it's new to me, called Branch Basics, and that's who my toxins teacher just told everybody about. So I bought their stuff. It's just one concentrate, and then you fill the few bottles, so that really minimizes what you need.
Oh, that's great.
Because we really don't need all of these different products. I think that bleach and the 99% kills all the germs, the antibacterial, that stuff is what creates superbugs in us so that we have no immune system.
Yes, get dirty, people.
Get
It's
dirty.
okay.
Get your hands in the dirt. That's why they say grounding, putting your feet in the sand and the dirt, walking on grass is so good for us. When you're gardening and you're getting your hands all dirty, and you just rinse it off. It's not a big deal. It's so great for us. If you want to make your own products, which I don't want to, I don't. Some people love to. Vinegar, the vinegar that's $2 at the store. Vinegar, water, essential oils, baking soda, washing soda. You can make stuff really easily and for really inexpensive, because sometimes people don't want to make the swap because they think it's going to cost more, and it doesn't. What costs more is using products that are linked to cancer. They're very carcinogenic, have disruptive for your immune system, for your respiratory system. It causes headaches, all of these different things, endocrine disruption, hormone, it throws everything off, pregnancy, fertility. All of this is linked to what are you cleaning your house with. By making these small swaps will majorly impact how often are you in the doctor's office? What are you spending on medications? What do you have control over to get to the root of the issue instead of covering it up? And then it's making you sicker and sicker taking the alternative. I will say there's definitely a place for doctors.
Absolutely.
I
Which
don't
we
have
had to
to
do the disclaimer before. Some people need medication.
Yeah, and I've been on medication where it's I'll try all the holistic stuff and sometimes it doesn't work. And yes, we need doctors, but I think there's a really good balance of having holistic and then the doctor stuff. One other thing I wanted to say when you were talking about food and everyone has to eat differently and there's so many diets because there's so many different people and our DNA is different, our genetics are different, what you grew up on. Are you a guy, girl, how fast is your metabolism? All of that stuff. I went to integrative nutrition as one of my nutrition schools, and they had the term bioindividuality, which means bioindividuality. What works for you might not work for me, and everyone is bio-individual. So you have to know what works for you, and that's what I always tell people. I can be giving you this amazing advice, but you know your body better than anyone else. If someone told me to cut out carbs, I'd cut them. I had a bagel this morning. It was a sprouted bagel with vegan cream cheese.
Swap.
But I need carbohydrates because I'm half Italian and I'm half Jewish, and we grew up eating those types of foods. So my body runs well on them, and I'm mentally a lot nicer if I have that.
Oh, yes, I can relate to
Other
that.
people though, you're saying, you don't do well on fats. Or other people don't do well if they cut certain, if coffee, like if I were to tell you take out coffee from your diet,
Hell no.
might
I'd
not
cut
work
you.
for you. Exactly. And I don't want to be cut. I want to be a good guest. But that's the thing, is like you have to know what works for you and trying different things out. In general, I think that we could all benefit from having way more plants in our diet, way more greens, organic fruits, vegetables.
Yeah.
I think if we all cut back on artificial sugars, the chemicals, the things that did not grow in it, you know, like the things that didn't grow as a plant but are manufactured in a plant are not good for us. Less meat, milk, the dairy products, all of that, if we could just minimize it, 1, for our own health, 2, for the animals, and 3, for the environment, I think would be a huge step in the right direction. Not saying you have to cut it out, just backing up some of those things and then adding in more plants would drastically affect our health.
Jill is all about helping and saving everyone and everything.
I try.
Which leads me to my next question. You have an amazing, bright spirit. So
Thank you.
what kind of inner work do you do? Because I know we talked a little bit about meditation before. What do you do to kind of keep yourself centered?
Yeah, so I'll say this. I actually really don't like meditating. I'll just say it. It's so hard for me because I run very fast and quick, and like it's so hard for me to calm my mind. My meditations, and you're gonna laugh, and my husband loves this, like I love doing the dishes. It's very meditative for me. Cleaning the house, you know, like just for me, like having my house super clean and organized, no additional clutter. I think that's another huge piece to like the whole health and wellness puzzle is minimize the bullshit that you don't need, because it starts cluttering your head, and then it makes it, when you're busy and you have so much stuff going on, you don't know where your things are, and then you have things that have like yellow pit stains, and your closet is messy, and then it's hard getting dressed, and then you feel stressed out and ugly. You know, it's like it all builds on each other. I like to journal. I go in and out of doing that also. I love reading. I'm always reading like 2 books at a time, different topics. But reading forces me to like sit back, chill. I usually have a dog with me, and that calms me down. So slowing down is like my biggest thing, because I'm like, no, I need to do one thing and this and that, and like actually acknowledging the progress that we make. Comparison too, for me, like I can't always be on social media or seeing what everyone else is doing, because it starts to make me feel bad, like, have I not done enough? But I like to say that comparison is the cock block to joy, because it really makes us start thinking that like we're not enough, and like we are. I have a really great group of friends. I have detoxed any assholes out of my life. Sorry if you're watching this and we don't talk anymore, now you know why. No, but I do think that's really important, is who you hang out with will really impact like the thoughts that you have, the choices that you make, the behaviors that you have in your life that then dictate what kind of life you have.
Yeah. Well, you know, they say you're like the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So you want to be selective with who those 5 people are.
I sometimes just need to be quiet.
Yeah.
Like, my dog, I have 2 rescue pups, and they're so healing for me. And so just sitting there with them, I'm like, oh, this is what I need.
So your videos on YouTube are so much fun.
Thank you. That's like the main goal, is I want to teach people something, but I want them to be fun and silly.
They are really, really fun and so entertaining and informative and educational.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always have bloopers. My husband says I film it just for the bloopers, which, I mean,
Why
yes
not?
and no.
I
Because the
love
bloopers are fun.
That's why we put them here. Get something people to watch and laugh at.
Health and wellness can sometimes be so black and white, and I want it to just be full of color and colorful words.
You're very colorful.
Thank you.
In all ways. Okay, so we talked about swaps, but how can people stay on track this time of year? It is right around the holidays now, and there are so many temptations, and I know that I want to swear because you're swearing.
Swear.
I know that I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to eat Bailey's and eat whatever I want and make fudge and eat half the batch before I give it out as gifts. So how can people stay on track? I'm giving you some whether you want it or not.
Oh, I'll eat fudge.
I make pumpkin fudge. It's
I like
really
that.
good. It's really good. Okay, but okay, just talk to me. How can I
Yes.
help me? Because I'm total case study for this. Because I will literally be like, it's the holidays.
I'm the same. I want you to know, like, everybody, even if you're like a nutritionist or whatever, like everyone goes through this,
I
because
love you even more now.
but it's like we're connected through the memories of like, oh, my grandma used to make this, or these smells, and it brings you back, like not just in this age, but like all the memories that you had throughout life. And so it's like, well, I don't want to give up the memory if I'm giving up this cookie. Okay, so a couple suggestions. 1, never go to a party starving.
Okay, good.
Because if you go to a party super hungry, then you're just going to go to town on everything. 2, I would bring a healthy dish. Something that's fun and delicious, but like with a healthy spin on it.
Okay.
So it's not like the worst thing. So if you go, you're like, oh, I made this awesome salad, so I know at least I have that. Up the probiotics, because you're going to be eating a lot more than you typically would. So you want to balance out your gut, the microbiome. You have good and bad bacteria, so you want to feed those good bacteria, give them all their Christmas gifts in the form of probiotics and prebiotic foods.
I love that.
instead of having tonic water or soda, switch it to soda water or to Pellegrino so that you're cutting the sugar out from there. If you're going to have like a fun festive cocktail, have one and then make sure you're drinking enough water or have, you know, coconut water or something else that will keep you hydrated after. Also, don't limit yourself. Don't walk in saying like, I'm not going to have any of that. You're going to have some. Yeah. So don't put that guilty thought in your mind. That's the other thing too is, this may sound a little like woo-woo or spiritual, but I think that our body digests things in the way that we tell it to digest it.
Oh,
We're like,
yes.
oh, I feel so guilty. I shouldn't be having this. I'm sneaking it. No, that's not at all like how our bodies are made. Like we're made to want to eat and enjoy and to celebrate with people. So go in and say like, I'm going to have one piece of cake, or I'm going to have one eggnog, or I'm going to have one or two of these, or I'm going to have 4. Fuck it. I'm going to go for it tonight. Yeah. Then go for it and have a good time, but get in a great workout. Do spin that day. Have a green smoothie. Like balance it out so that you can eat and enjoy, but also know that like on the other hand, like you've done your workout, you've drank a ton of water, you've had like a big salad, you know, so that it's an even balance.
Okay, those are great.
Oh, and get plenty of sleep. A lot of people skip out on their sleep, and if you're just cutting down on your sleep even by like an hour or so, like say if you sleep 6 or less hours, like your chances of obesity or gaining weight are much higher, and then you also throw off the 2 hormones that one tell you to stop eating, and then the other one that tells you like you're hungry to keep eating.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point too. So you are very involved with animals, so tell me about that.
Oh, it can make me cry. When you find something that like lights up your soul so much, and it literally brings tears to your eyes, like, I don't want to say this is like my purpose, but it's something that is so passion-filled for you that it actually makes a difference in your life and feeds your soul. So animals feed my soul because they can't speak, they can't tell us what they need, they can't advocate for themselves, they can't get themselves out of a shelter or leave a situation where they're being abused or mistreated. So I want to help all of them, and I wish I could take them all into my house, and God bless my husband because he lets me foster and he helps me big time with it. But I was going through a hard time, and I've always loved animals, and I've always volunteered and helped and this and that, and I just heavily threw myself into like going to the shelters and bringing blankets and talking to them and helping rescue and transporting, you know, from the shelter into a foster home and picking up from the vet and this and that, and giving back to I'm going to say like a group of people, a group of animals that just can't do anything. Like they're helpless without us, and their love is so unconditional and it's so pure. And they teach us so much by not saying a word. Yeah. I don't know. I just think like they're the most amazing teachers and love bugs in the world for us. You know what? If you don't like animals, then I don't like you. But really, if you don't like animals, what the fuck is wrong with you? Can I say that?
You just did.
I just did.
I'm actually going to put your Instagram name here too, because I think people should follow you and see what you're doing, because you're doing
Please follow me.
Yes, you're doing so much good. I love whatever you put up there, whether it's food or it's you doing a yoga pose on a rock on the beach or in Mexico or something. So no, everything that you do I think is amazing and can enrich everybody's lives. So what do you think is the most important piece of advice for overall well-being?
Think that you have to find what makes you happy and, you know, like I said, fills your soul and like just gives you that like internal mojo where you feel like on top of the world and like you got this.
So where can people find you and learn more about you and your services?
My website is JillLawrenceHealth.com. When you come onto my website, you'll have a fun little pop-up that says, I've been waiting for you. And if you sign up for my mailing list, which only goes out like every 2 to 3 weeks, it's entertaining, it's fun, there's blogs and videos.
And there's a free gift.
And there is a free gift. I will send you my top 3 secret smoothie mix-ins because I'm all about making smoothies because they're easy, but I'm going to tell you now, you got to sign up for it. And it comes with a beautiful PDF and a video with bloopers.
We love bloopers. Jill's bloopers are really funny. Jill, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it so much. You shared so much amazing information. Yay. You are amazing. I am so grateful that you're my friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
You are a beautiful light yourself.
Oh, thank you. Well,
thank you.
Like attracts like. Thank you so much for watching again this week. And remember, for the best information about law of attraction and holistic living, remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Adopt.
Do you want me to turn the air up?
No, it's just like me.
Yeah, no, we're
it's
still
just
hot. Okay.
And I'm an animal.
You are right.
Yeah. There's a fly.
It's okay. You know, actually,
let me take a sip of tea.
Take a sip because I'm like, my lips are dry.
What was the original question?